Hi students, very good morning to all of you. So today I'm going to explain about the syllabus for your communication lab, advanced communication lab, and the first experiment. So this advanced communication lab, having the subject code of 17 ECL 76, having 12 experiments, which is divided into two parts, part A and part B. In part A, we'll be having the 8 experiments, and part B will be having the 4 experiments. So part B experiments are simulation experiments. You can simulate using LabVIEW or MATLAB. So part A experiments are digital experiments, micro experiments, and optical fiber experiments, as well as the antenna experiment. So out of 8 experiments, the first 4 experiments are discrete experiments and belong to digital communication. Then the fifth experiment is what is it, microwave communication, and sixth experiment belonging to the antenna experiment, and seventh one is what is that again once again the microwave communication, and the eighth experiment is belonging to optical fiber experiments. So let us see the experiments one by one. Part A, first experiment is time division multiplexing and demultiplexing of the two band limited signals, and the second experiment is ASK generation and detection, and the third experiment is FSK generation and detection, and the fourth one is BPSK or PSK generation and detection. Fifth one is measurement of frequency, guide wavelength, power, VSWR in the microwave test bench, and sixth one is measurement of directivity and gain of the microstrip, dipole, and Hagiwara antennas. Seventh one is seventh A is determination of the coupling and isolation characteristics of micro strip direction coupler, and seventh B is the ring resonator to find the resonant characteristics as well as dielectric constant of the substrate, and seventh C is power divider. So here you are going to find the power division and isolation of the microstrip power divider, and the eighth experiment is propagation loss, the numerical aperture bending loss of the optical fiber. Then part B experiments, we have the four experiments which are simulation experiments. We can simulate using the Simulink, LabVIEW, or MATLAB. First one is simulate NRZ, RZ, off sinusoid and raised cosine pulses and generate eye diagram for binary polar signaling. Second one is simulate the pulse code modulation and demodulation system and display the waveforms. Third is simulate the QPSK transmitter and receiver, plot the signals and its constellation diagram. Fourth one is test the performance of a binary differential phase shift keying system by simulating the non-coherent detection of the binary DPSK. So now we will move on to the first experiment. Before that, let us see the course outcome for this lab. Course outcome means at the end of this laboratory course, what you will be able to. You will be able to determine characteristics and response of microwave devices and optical waveguide. Second, our course outcome is determine the characteristics of the microstrip antennas and devices and compute the parameters associated with it. Third one is simulate the digital modulation schemes like ASK, FSK, BPSK, DPSK, QPSK with the display of waveforms and computation of the performance parameters. Fourth one is design and test the digital modulation circuits or systems and display the waveforms. Fifth one is design the test and microwave test bench and computation of the performance parameters like frequency, wavelength, and the VSWR. Okay, so these are the course outcome for this advanced communication lab. Now we will move on to the first experiment. Your first experiment is time division multiplexing. So TDM is always used in the digital communication system. FTM is used in the analog communication system. Okay, so what is this TDM? TDM is a process of multiplexing the number of signals and transmitting over a single communication channel. That is called as a time division multiplexing. And the different time slots, the signals are multiplexed and transmitting over the single communication channel. What is the aim of this experiment? The aim of this experiment is to perform the TDM generation, detection of the two band limit signals back from the TDM. Means here we can generate the TDM using two palm signals and recover the original two palm signals and message signal from the modulated output. This is what the aim of this experiment. What is the operators required for conduction of this experiment? Operators required are, we need two ICs CD4051 and resistors and capacitors, as well as transistors also required. So there are two versions here. One is IC version, another is transistor version. So here I am showing the transistor version. Means we need the two transistors like NPN transistor and PNP transistor, resistors and capacitors as per the design it is required. Look here, dear students, this is what the multiplexer circuit. So multiplexer circuit requires two transistors. One is SL100, another is SK100, and op amp is required for adding the signals. Then signal generator is required, and the CRO is required. Okay, see, this is the multiplexer circuit. So you are observing the carrier signal is given to the base of the two transistors, and the message signal M1 of t is given to the collector of the first transistor, and M2 of t is given to the collector of the second transistor. So look here, students, so the amplitude of the carrier signal, which is modulating with the message signal 1, then you will get the PAM1. So PAM is nothing but pulse amplitude modulation. Pulse amplitude modulation means the amplitude of the pulse. Pulse is nothing but carrier. The amplitude of the carrier modulating with respect to message signals will get PAM signals. So if the M1 if the amplitude of the carrier modulating with M1 of t will get PAM1. So PAM1 will get at the collector of the first transistor. Okay. And similarly, if M2 of t, the amplitude of the pulse which is modulating with M2 of t, you will get what is that, PAM2. So PAM1 and PAM2 you are getting at the collector of the transistor 1 and transistor 2, and these PAM signals which get added, okay, which is going to be added using the op amp circuit as an adder. Okay, then the output of this op amp is the multiplexed output. Okay, multiplexed output of M1 of t and M2 of t. So this is how we are performing the TDM generation. So next thing is that demultiplexer circuit. So here whatever the TDM we obtained in the multiplexer circuit, which will be given to the collector of the two transistors, and the carrier is given to the base of the two transistors. So then we obtain PAM1 at the collector of the first transistor and PAM2 at the collector of the second transistor. This is obtained by removing the carrier signals. Okay, in the demodulation or demultiplexer circuit, the carrier is removed and the original PAM signal is obtained. To get the original message signals back, we have to use the filters. By using the filters at the two end of the PAM outputs, we will get the original message signals. So this is the expected waveforms. Look here, M1 of t is message signal. So you can select either a sinusoidal signal or triangular signal, or even sawtooth waveforms also. Better you can select one sinusoidal signal, another is triangular signal. It is also possible to take two sinusoidal signals of the different ranges. That is also possible. Okay. So if you are getting any confusion, better you can go for one sinusoidal signal, another is the triangular signal of the same range, means frequency and the peak to peak amplitude. Okay, so here you are observing peak to peak amplitude and the frequency of both the signals M1 of t, M2 of t are same, but the functions are different. One is sinusoidal, another is the triangular. Okay, carrier signal is the pulse or the square wave. So look here, the frequency of the carrier is more than frequency of the message signal. Then M1 of t, the pulse of the amplitude of the pulse, the modulating with M1 of t will get PAM1, and amplitude of the pulse modulating with M2 of t will get PAM2. That PAM1 and PAM2 get multiplexed to produce the TDM waveforms. Procedure. Connections are made as shown in the figure, and you have to apply the square wave carrier signal of 2 kHz of 5 volts amplitude, and apply M1 of t, M2 of t, whose frequencies are 200 Hz with DC offset, and F2 is 4 Hz with DC offset. So you may choose both are same, both the message signals frequencies are same, but the functions should be different, or same functions, different frequencies. That is also possible. And observe the TDM waveform. Observe reconstructed message signals M1 of t and M2 of t from the PAM signals by using the filter circuits. Okay, this is the how we are conducting these experiments. Result: TDM output is obtained from the two PAM signals, and two band limit signals are recovered. And if you want, you can also recover the original message signals using the filter circuit at the PAM output sets. So thank you for watching this video, which contains syllabus for this advanced communication lab, as well as what is that the first experiment.